It is windy out here. Good morning, guys, and welcome back. So, starting out strong this morning, in my opinion, we are headed out with the International to do one of our last fields of the year. So, kind of sad in a way, but also not in another way, because we've had not a lot of breakdowns this year, but some pretty serious ones with the mowing machine and the International and everything. So hopefully we'll end out on a good note. This isn't our last field. I feel like I keep saying this, but we have one more field after this. I kind of forgot about it. It's not actually Brent's field, but we went and looked at it the other day, and we can possibly get another crop off of that. We are just going to be green feeding this. We're not wrapping it or anything. Just trying to stretch out our feed. We try not to feed out the feed that we harvested this year until November 1st. That's what we do every year. We try to make it until November 1st before we start feeding anything that we've gotten that year. This year, I think we're gonna make it. It's the 9th, I think, right now. So between this field, which I think is pretty heavy, we'll see when we get up there. Kind of hard to tell from the road how thick it is and everything, so we'll see when we get up there. If it is pretty thick, we're only gonna be mowing the center of it. We don't wanna get too ahead of ourselves and get too much down, because then it'll start turning, and then the cows don't like it, and you've pretty much just wasted a bunch of feed. So I think we're all set to go. By the way, if you are new here, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Taylor, and I work on a dairy farm in Maine. With my boss, Brent, it's just him and I. We milk 70 cows in a tie stall barn. This was built in 1963, put on the pad where a barn half the size burnt down in 62, and then they built this, and we've been using it ever since. So we still pasture our cows. We don't milk any one breed. They're all crossbred cows. That's not to say we don't have any purebred cows, because we do. We have purebred Holsteins, purebred Ashier, purebred Jersey and Guernsey. Brown Swiss, a lot of purebred cows, but the vast majority of them are crosses. We just find that they're hardier cows, better grazers, and they have higher components, butter, fat, protein. In today's milk market, all of those things make a big difference. So we also do not feed commercial pelletized grain. We stopped feeding that almost 5 years ago, and we went strictly to cornmeal. A lot of people say cornmeal is a grain, but when I'm talking about grain, I'm talking about, pelletized, Energizer 20, 22, 24% grain. We don't feed that anymore. We just feed cornmeal, which is what is in this bin right here, high quality baleage, and dry hay. We also don't feed corn silage. We stopped doing that about 7 or 8 years ago, I think it was. We just had to do things really different. As a small farm, it was hard to survive, and you had to figure out ways to change to make it work. And this is the way it works for us. That was a long introduction, sorry. But if you guys enjoy watching videos about small farming or farming in general, cropping, all those things, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because that does help us out a lot. So I'm gonna make sure I grab my jacket, because it's a little chilly out here. It's like 50 degrees, and I'm gonna need it. Okay, so all good to go. All the things: hearing protection, coffee, jacket, and snacks. All right, now for my favorite part. This is the best sounding tractor of all time. Guy in that truck just looked at me like, "What are you doing out there? Oh, girl." dry in June, so stuff got delayed growing after first cutting. And then we had a really wet July and early August, I believe, too. So that kind of put it behind again because it was just drowning, especially in this field because you can see how it all drains to the center right there. So stuff in the high parts didn't grow because it was too dry, and then the stuff in the low parts didn't grow because it got too much water. So just a really strange combination of things prevented us from getting this, but we are going to be doing it now. It looks like good stuff. There's a lot of dying and dead clover in it. You can see there's some red clover right there. A lot of timothy, so it should be pretty good feed. So what we're gonna be doing is we're not gonna be doing that lower part down there. We're gonna be cutting straight from that woods line. So we're gonna come up the hill and cut directly to the road. And then we're gonna cut down this way, across that ditch that's down by that telephone pole. We're gonna cut straight down, straight over, straight up. So it's gonna be a giant rectangle. And then when we're done that, we're gonna cut into that side hill over there a little bit where it's actually good grass. Up on top of it isn't worth cutting, so we're just gonna figure out as we go what we're gonna cut. I guess that's an easier way to say it. So we're gonna be mowing in first. The first go around, when we're doing the edges of the field, we're gonna be mowing with a TA back. What that is just a torque amplifier. So back, you have more pulling power. Ahead, obviously that's like a road gear, but for this tractor, mowing is not difficult, so you can mow in what would be considered a road gear. So we'll put that ahead once we get going. Makes it a little bit faster. We do have the 1000 PTO still hooked up because our mechanic has been really busy and he hasn't gotten the chance to get over and fix the 540, but it's not a big deal. You do have to be careful because you can't turn as hard because of the way the arms are. They don't lift high enough to go over the top of that. And when they're lower, it just makes it worse. If you turn too sharp, you can hit it, so you gotta pay attention to that. maybe a little bit over an hour. It wasn't terribly bad out here as long as you stayed out of the wind. It wasn't too cold. But something that I do hate about when it starts getting cooler is, I don't know why, but I'll show you guys. I have this weird thing. It's actually like a, I don't know, I'd call it a disease, but I think it actually is. So it usually happens to my toes. When my feet get a little bit cold, and not like I'm really cold or anything, they just get a little bit cold, your body has some sort of like hyper reaction to it, and they turn pale white. After a while, the circulation will come back, but it takes a while sometimes, and they're numb, and it just feels and looks really weird. But this time, it happened to my hands, so I'll show you guys. This hand, which looks normal, and then my other hand. Look at those 3 fingers. Really weird. It comes back after a while, but my hand just feels like stiff and cold. Sometimes it kind of freaks you out, but it always comes back. I actually didn't end up mowing the other section because it was a lot thicker than we thought it was going to be, and there's a lot of feed here, so we'll be lucky if we can feed all this out without having to wrap some. But it's really good stuff. Cows should love that. Let's head back to the farm. Welcome back again, guys. It is the next day. After mowing, we really didn't get up to anything because it was really cold and windy, and it was pretty late when I got done anyway. It was around 1 o'clock, I think. So Brent is going to be heading up today to rake up some of that so we can feed it tonight. Last night was actually the night of the Northern Lights here in Maine. You could see it really well. It was like 7:30, I think, and I was leaving here to go home, and I looked up. I hadn't heard anything about it, but I looked up and I was like, why is the sky so red? And then I got looking around. It was just these beautiful shades of turquoise and red. It was the most I've ever seen it. I've only ever seen it one other time, I think, around here, but it was just absolutely gorgeous. I made a post about it. If you guys didn't see that, I'll insert some pictures here. It was just amazing. But seeing that natural phenomenon kind of reminded me of the things that have been going on around in other parts of the country, Florida, North Carolina, Georgia. They've all been getting hit hard by hurricanes this year. In the last 10 days, they've had those 2 that hit really hard. A lot of people have been affected by that. Their homes are ruined, lost loved ones, and our heart just goes out to those people and what you're dealing with right now. Just know that all of you guys are in our thoughts and prayers. The cat's just walked in. Nelson, he said, I usually come sit with you. Yes, well, I'm having my coffee, don't you? So on that note, I did want to introduce a cow to you guys. I don't know why I pointed at her. She's not the one I wanted to introduce. So the one I wanted to show you is up here. They're eating dry hay this morning, which they are not happy about. They've been getting baleage pretty steady lately, and they absolutely love first crop baleage. They like dry hay, but it's not their favorite. They eat it, and it's good for them, but it's not something that they crave. So when they came in, they were kind of disappointed. They all went into stalls like really excited, and then they were sniffing it like what is this crap before they started eating it. But so this is the lady that I wanted to introduce to you guys. This is Loretta. She is a 7-year-old purebred Holstein. Excuse the bull, he's not happy. His cow in heat, he's mad about being locked outside. So I'll take you around and show you her udder because she is bagging. She's due to calve in 2 weeks. And she has only had a heifer 1 time. So I'm interested to see this time if she'll have another bull or if it'll finally be another heifer. But something about her is that a few years back, she was having a really, really hard time getting up. And we were thinking that we might have to get rid of her because she just was struggling. We had to lift her up with the hip lifters all the time, and it was just a constant struggle. So Brent was at the end of his rope. He's like, I don't think we can do this much longer with her. So we took her out and put her in the free stall. It was winter, and I went out every single day and helped her up. I was like, I am not giving up on her. I'm very stubborn, if you guys haven't noticed. And I helped her up every day, and eventually she just got stronger and stronger, and we have not had a problem with her since. But because of that, she's gotten super used to me, and she's like, she wants me to lead her in a stall. She wants me to lead her around, so I've kind of made a baby of her, but she's a good girl. So yeah, that is Loretta, my baby. Yes, she's a good girl. All right, so we are in the free stall now, and first of all, I just gotta show you guys what it looks like. We cleaned it out yesterday, and this is what it looks like when it's been windy all day and the cows decide that they don't want to go outside. They want to stay in the free stall. So this is what they did to it since yesterday morning. Absolute mess. I got the gate shut so that Brent can clean it out when we're done here. But our project for today is we've got this 50-foot hose and a float on it, a brand new float that Brent just picked up the other day. And we're going to be turning this old cement water trough back into a water trough. So what we've been doing with it the last, as long as I can remember, so at least a decade, has been putting mineral blocks in it and just letting the cows come over and eat that. We put one on each side. We don't feed mineral blocks anymore. We only feed salt blocks. And we have one of those, which we keep over by the other water tank, just so, you know, they can lap that and they'll get thirsty, they can drink the water. So we decided to put this into use again so the cows don't have to walk all the way down there to get a drink. And I know that's not that far, but these cows are spoiled, so we're gonna see if we can't hook this one up so that we can use it again. So this is actually a sink, I believe, that Brent's father and uncle poured concrete into. So they made it into this like big concrete basin. So you can actually see there's a drain hole right there that's all concreted in. As far as we know, it still holds water, so we'll find out. But the plan is he's going to wedge a 2x4 in here. We were going to use some nails, some cement nails, and nail it in there, but we weren't sure if that would crack the cement. And also, obviously, this is a sink, so I don't know how that would have worked anyway. That probably wouldn't have worked anyway, but he's bringing out the board. Oh, here he comes right now. So I'll let him explain it. This is his idea. Also, we can't push out manure anymore because its pit is too full, so definitely time to start spreading.
Cut it off here, put it in there, wedge it, then we can put this over it.
Okay. I got to thinking, and I don't think our nail plan would have worked anyway. It'd be like this.
Yeah, and
but that it wouldn't have stayed.
No, this will work. You just gotta wedge it in. I would say, like, see what you think.
You didn't bring an actual tape measure?
No. But
farmers. You just like eyeballing it.
I think if we just...
Oh, I have a knife. Here.
Because it could be a little lower down there, but probably not.
You mark it where you think you just... There you go. I can cut it since your arm still hurts. Is it any better?
No.
Your arm?
Yeah, maybe a little. Pretty good. Straight. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's not going to come out.
I guess not.
Huh?
I guess not.
No, that won't come out. All right, you head up the rafters.
Yay.
And I'll pass it to you.
All right. Good times.
Well, that gate, yeah, that gate is good. Stand on that gate. There you go. Hold. Yeah, there you go. Okay, just...
Okay, so we got about 3/4 of the way with the first hose, and Brent's going to get a second hose. So this is where we ended up, and that's how much farther we have to go. So I've just been standing on these beams and going down through there. Not much fun, because I don't really like heights, but as long as I'm sitting down, it doesn't really bother me, and I also have a death grip on this board, so we're all good. I made it, but I'm covered in cobwebs.
Huh?
But I made it, but I'm covered in cobwebs. It's holding water. That's good.
Yeah, it's holding water. This could never work. I don't know what happened there. This was an old sink. slate.
Yeah,
It was slate.
explaining that, but I didn't know it was slate.
And we covered it with.
That's cool. Huh? Yeah, well, back then, you didn't spend money unless you had to.
Nope.
Still ought to be the way it is, but it's not for a lot of people.
You know what we could do? When it gets free, take this off and just hang it up there so the guy don't like screw it all in it.
Yeah. Holds quite a bit.
Yeah.
Good job.
There. So that'll give them an extra place to drink. Quite a few of them come down here.
Yeah, you see a lot of them hanging out here looking out that door there.
That worked pretty good, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't think that's coming out.
No.
We got our bolt cutters. Tell everybody what you call those bolt cutters.
Those are kick-ass bolt cutters.
That's how you described it. You said go get the kick-ass bolt cutters. They are super heavy. You can hardly hold them up. And then some wrenches.
Put a man to hold it out.
Yeah. And we are at the other barn.
Alright, we gotta fix the whole pipe down here.
They keep pulling the bunk pipe back, and if you don't leave it there, they'll try to roll in there and kill themselves.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because cows are just always looking for a way to die. I swear. I like these windows. They just keep pulling it back. Hold on. Turn it a little bit.
Huh?
Turn it. There we go. Okay. Just don't want them scraping themselves on that. Hello. Hi, baby.
Get your Chinese bolt cutters. There you go.
Watch your fingers.
Yeah. Okay. Come over here and get this TV. Snip that.
Hello.
You can't snip that bolt off right there.
Probably.
Yeah.
I can't see it. Do I got it?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can do that.
Ready? Go. Hold on. I'll hold that. You pull that. Yeah, push right against that. It needs to be casted, but you don't have enough pipe to it.
No, but if you could...
You know what? Oh, drill a hole?
Yeah, I would say, what if you drilled a hole through here, and then you put a bolt through it and attach your chain on either side of the bolt, and then they couldn't pull
That's
it
what
back.
you need.
Plus, you don't need a chain that big, I don't think.
No, you don't. What do we get over here?
I don't think there's any more chain.
No, that's it.
What do you think, JoJo?
We really don't need.
What do you think, Bliss? Huh?
Okay, we don't need the bolt cutters anymore. Like you said, if we just drilled a hole, that 5/16. Okay.
Bye. So we finally picked up all that plastic from feeding the calves, and it looks much better, or heifers.
Much better.
So much cleaner in here. Gave them a little extra hay because they were crying even though they had hay. So we have skipped right into nighttime milking. We did a few more things today. Our project on the railing didn't quite work out because we didn't have all the parts that we needed, but we'll keep a really close eye on that pipe just to make sure they're not dragging it back over the next few days before we fix that. I also usually try to feed them on the other side a little bit more than that side just to make sure it keeps them a little bit safer if they do pull that pipe back. so they don't get rowdy and push each other in there in between our checks. So I went home after that, and then I came back early, and Brent had already raked an entire row of that field that we did the other day. I went around and baled the whole thing, and we got 4 bales. So there is a lot of feed in that field. We fed them 1 in here tonight, and they absolutely love it. It is amazing stuff. It actually almost could have been dry hay because we had no dew last night. I just gotta show you guys. This is what we just cut. Like, look how dry it is. I just think that's amazing that it got that dry, but it has been very windy, so that probably has a lot to do with it. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, please don't forget to like and comment down below, and subscribe, of course, if you haven't already done that. Keep it real, keep farming, and I hope you join us in the next video. Bye, guys.